So just in the time that I've been making this video, I now have 1 quadrillion Bitcoin. What's going on, Zanies? Welcome to another New Game Tuesday. I'm trying to keep the tradition alive the best I can here in the channel, and as you guys may recall, New Game Tuesday was a thing that I started right before I went on my little hiatus. So now that we're back, I gotta tell you guys about this game. It's called Bitcoin Miner. I have been absolutely obsessed with it, and although it hasn't been quite running as smooth as I had hoped, just because my system is not really up to par just yet, it's still really fun. For those of you that haven't heard about this game, it's very similar to every single tycoon game out there in the Roblox universe, kind of like Oil Tycoon and Mansion Tycoon, and there's several others that I can't even think of right now off the top of my head, but just know that that's basically what it is. You have to invest in goods, you have to wait for those goods to produce money or some kind of value in return, then you exchange that value for in-game currency, and then all of a sudden you're this big rich millionaire trillionaire guy. And that's really what I am now in the game. I have pretty much maxed out everything that I can earn with the basic cards, and all I really need to do now is find a way to produce this Solaris. I need to find a way to produce Solaris. I'm not quite there yet. I think I have a couple of these, maybe a couple of these as well, the solar shark, but that's all it is. For those of you that may not know, cryptocurrency is actually mined, and I'm not going to go into the details of what that means because quite frankly, I'm not too sure I understand it myself, but all you need to know is that it does consume a lot of power and a lot of resources. But anyway, this is my little plot right here. This is my little setup. As you guys can see, I have all of these blue little cards here. I don't even know what the name of that card is. What is it? See, and I have an additional 255 that I'm not even using right now. That's how much money I have. So it's called the Optics Mini version 2, and maybe if I go to my second plot, let's go to my second plot. Let me see what I got going on there in my second plot. Oh, okay, so I must have been thinking of something in a different gameplay session because I obviously have some racks here, and I have, here we go, I do have some Solaris here, but it's not quite producing as much as I wanted to just yet, but it's okay. So maybe what I'll do, since I have so much money, maybe what I'll do is I'll just keep building up these racks here with all of these cards that I have. Oops, wrong one. I want to make sure I add all the cards at once. Autofill, thank you. And I'm just going to load up these racks with all of these GPUs and see how much money I end up making until I'm in a position where I can make more Solaris. See this guy here. Whatever this guy is doing, oh, I think he's doing bits. So there's 3 different kinds of currency in the game. There's the Bitcoin, there's the bits, and then there's the Solaris. Right now, I am currently only working with Solaris. I think I have bits, I'm not sure. And then obviously Bitcoin. By the way, this is not real Bitcoin. This is in-game Bitcoin, but it's still fun, you guys. It's really fun. And I'm telling you, I have been so obsessed with it. And what I found, or what I've been doing, I should say, is because my system was being really slow with the old gear I had, I actually waited really late at night to jump into a server. And then once I found a pretty empty server, I just created a macro that I let run all night long. So that way I can get all this money and generate all these Bitcoins. So not the most honest way of doing it. And in fact, I'm not too sure I should be saying that out loud before somebody catches me, but hey, you know, that's the truth. So let's see here. I want to exchange this. Oh, and there's Solaris, so I can exchange some of this now as well. And okay, so it's just Bitcoin and Solaris. How do I exchange the other currency, the bits? Oh, I think that one automatically generates. So I have 378 million. Let's see what I can afford. So that's 5.8. Let me go upstairs. So that's 50 million, 250 million, 6 billion. So this is the card I want, and this is the card that my neighbor has. Right now, I can only afford this one. So I'm going to buy this one for now, and hopefully just keep chipping away at generating some of this currency. So back in my plot here, and it looks like I do have an extra slot to insert one more bit card. And there we go, and these are all Solaris. Let me see how much Solaris money I have. Do I have enough? I think I have enough. So let's head over to the Solaris shop real quick. Here at the Solaris shop now, I'm looking through the cards to see what I can afford. I have 297,000. looks like I can afford this one, so I'm just gonna buy this one. If you guys want any tips for this game, my number one tip would be don't invest in some of these smaller cards, like these cards that cost $40 and maybe even the cards that cost $85, $160. I know it's going to be very tempting to, you know, build up racks and just install as many cheap cards as you possibly can, but honestly, my best advice is to wait until you actually have $85 and then buy this one instead of buying two of these, if that makes sense. And then once you've bought this card that is $85 and you start accruing Bitcoin, skip the 160, go with the 540, and so on and so on. In other words, if you can skip cards and always buy the one that's going to produce you the most Bitcoin or the most Solaris or the most bits at one time. Trust me, there's absolutely no point in buying every single one of these cards. I guess what I'm trying to say is that don't follow the sequence. Don't go through the ladder. Don't feel like you got to own every single one of them because you don't get anything. There's no difference. The only difference is in the amount of Bitcoin that they produce. See, so like all of these, I can tell you guys right now, I skipped every single one of these cards. I never even bought any of these cards. And I'm going to tell you why, because although these cards are good, what I ended up doing is I just ended up saving my money and I ended up buying gold cards. So what I did do is I bought several of these. So the Flux Card 200, I bought several of these. I think at one point I had like 150 of these cards. Once these cards were generating me money, I waited until I could afford one of these gold cards. And let me show you why. This card produces 10 Bitcoin per second, right? So you multiply that over the course of what, maybe 100, 150 cards that I had at one point. Wait till you can afford this card. Look at how many Bitcoin this card can generate. And look at how many Bitcoin this one can generate, and then this one. And then once you have these, just wait until you're the appropriate level and you can go back into the level 200, or maybe it's in the level 300 section. Let me check. Okay, yeah, so it's in the level 200 section and it's at the shop over here. This one right here, the Optics Mini version 2. This is the card you want to get. And then this is also the generator you want to get for the time being. Until you can generate enough Solaris to go into the level 300 section, then at that point, maybe what you want to do is you want to look at investing into one of these. This generates so much power that you're really not going to need anything else other than maybe a plot full of these. And that's it. And for those of you wondering, this is how you switch plots, and let me show you what my plot that generates me all this power looks like. This is exactly what it looks like. I am almost completely out of room. I'm not quite there yet. Let me see how much energy I'm producing. So I'm producing 546 and I'm using 495. So I am going to need more power here soon. And I don't know that I can buy more than 3 plots at a time. Yeah, I can't. So I already own all 3 plots. My first plot is dedicated to nothing but Bitcoin, and my second plot is the one that's still relatively empty, but I still have enough room to maybe make this side full of power generators and maybe make this side full of cards. But there's no point in me generating more Bitcoin right now. There just isn't. I have nothing to spend it on, if that makes sense. So it does me no good to have all this Bitcoin. Let me see how much Bitcoin I have just in the time that I've been making this video. I now have 1 quadrillion Bitcoin. I have no need for that much Bitcoin. I can't spend that much Bitcoin on anything new, even if I wanted to, because the game does not allow it. There's nothing else to buy. So I have to wait till I generate enough Solaris to be able to move on to the bigger and better things. But that's basically it, you guys. This is Bitcoin Miner. So for those of you wondering what's behind all these level zones, I'll show you. Behind level 9, you do get a shop that is basically just the generators. Those generators are pretty good. I relied on those for quite a bit. You also get these 2 shops that we already went into, the one where you can buy additional cards that are green, and then the additional cards that are called Flux cards, and these are the gold and red cards. Then you do have a level 25 section, which is nothing more than just generators, if I remember correctly. Okay, yeah, so it's tables and generators. And then this one should just be more Bitcoin cards. Yeah, but these suck. I don't even know why these are in the game, to be quite honest. They're really expensive and they don't produce that many Bitcoin. And then you also have a level 55 section. The level 55 section is pretty bare. You have the opportunity to buy these lights, which is what I have in my little plot. And then you also have this tall building that I'm not too sure what it does or when it opens. There's a little side door here, but I've never seen it open. And I've hung out here for the better part of an hour just running that macro and looking at the screen, and nothing happened. So I don't know what this is or what this is for. Maybe it's just part of the cave, because there is a cave that is located a little bit further down in the map. I'm going there now. And this is it right here. You guys see this sign that says cave opens at 21 o'clock? So if you just look at your in-game timer, which is located by your cell phone, it'll tell you what time it is. So right now it's 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, what have you. So you have to get till it gets to 2100, okay? And that is when the cave will open. So on the other side, you do have some additional zones. You have a level 100 area here, which is just more Bitcoin cards. Same thing here. I never even used a single one of these cards. I skipped all of these, you guys. And then last but not least, you do have the train, which is a level 200 that will take you into the additional areas that I already showed you, but I'm going to recap those very, very quickly as well. So within the level 300, you have the pretty awesome optics cards here. You have the Gen X generators, which I also skipped every single one of these, you guys. Maybe at one point I owned a couple of these, the green nuclear reactor, but even at that, I mean, I didn't have a ton of them like I do with the optics ones. And then on this side, you have the Solaris shops and the Solaris generators, and then the level 300 zone, which is just an additional Solaris shop. This is really where I want to be getting my stuff at. And this is the last part right now, the Solaris, and this is the generator I want because it just produces a ton of power. But anyway, I was about to end the video. Now I really am going to end the video because I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to let the macro run and just accrue some more money. If you guys are interested in playing this game, don't be afraid to hunt me down, you guys. If you guys see me playing, I will join you in the game and I will give you free cards and I will give you free money. I promise you. Just make sure I'm online, make sure you come find me, and honestly, I've already done it with a couple fans. I will give you all the money in this game because there's just nothing else for me to do with it. So sharing is caring, right? Alright, Zanies, that's gonna do it for this video. Until next time, long live the Zanies.